What's up, YouTube? This is your boy John from the Jersey Shore, and I am back with you today to give you my review of Rob Zombie's 2016 film, 31. It's too early for that much energy. "31" was written and directed by Rob Zombie, starring Sheri Moon Zombie, Jeff Daniel Phillips, Malcolm McDowell, and Richard Brake as Doomhead.
In hell, everybody loves popcorn.
So our story begins with a group of carnival workers traveling down the road in an RV. It's typical Rob Zombie stuff. Everybody's foul-mouthed, everybody's filthy, the setting is dingy, the conversation is twisted and not normal at all. So eventually it's time to fuel up. So they make a stop to do so, and once again, more typical Rob Zombie stuff. As Sheri Moon is getting out of the RV, the gas station attendant is sitting in a chair, foul-mouthed, smoking, holding up a sign that basically says self-service. Sheri Moon is slowly getting out of the RV, grabbing her crotch, talking all kinds of stupid shit. So she gets out, and she goes about her business, and our character, Roscoe, played by Jeff Daniel Phillips, is around the side of the RV when a real small girl approaches, and she starts to talk to him. She's flirting back and forth with him. More typical Rob Zombie garbage. She's going back and forth with him, and eventually she asks him if they have any weapons. And he says that they do in fact have a shotgun, but they only use it to prop open the sunroof in the top of the RV. Once they're done fueling up, and once Roscoe's done flirting with that girl, and once Sheri Moon Zombie's done grabbing her crotch, they get back in the RV and they hit the bricks. So now it's dark, and they're driving down the road, and they come across, there's somebody put something in the road. So they stop their RV, obviously, because they can't continue forward. And Sheri Moon says, well, somebody's got to get out and move that stuff out of the way. She tells Roscoe, you need to get out and do it, because the guy driving the bus, obviously, he's too damn fat. It's going to be too hard for him to get out of the bus. It's going to take too long. Roscoe, you just get out, you go move that stuff. So he gets out of the RV, and he approaches the whatever it is that's in the road. And once he gets to the stuff in the road, he gets jumped.
What the hell is this?
And for whatever reason, the people that jump him are all dressed in the old black and white prison-looking outfits. It looks like Roscoe just got jumped by about a half a dozen hamburglers. So after they get a hold of Roscoe, they jump inside the van and they kidnap everybody in there too, obviously. Obviously. So next thing you know, all of our characters are handcuffed and gagged, and it's time to play 31.
Tonight, we are going to play 31.
And what is that, you might ask? So 31 is a game of survival. Malcolm McDowell is dressed like Beethoven, sitting up in a balcony with a bunch of other powderhead wig wearing fools, and they're looking down over these our main characters from the carnival and telling them that they have 12 hours to survive.
And all you have to do is survive 12 hours.
They let them go. They release them off into this large compound that they've apparently commandeered, and now these guys, it's just a matter of time. Malcolm McDowell is over a loudspeaker announcing rankings odds of, who's going to survive. This person's got a 100 to 1 odds of survival, 500 to 1 odds of survival. It's kind of ridiculous. So after these guys have been released into this compound, they have all kinds of different characters that they got to fight. They come across like a midget Nazi, I believe his name was Sickhead. Then they come across 2 clowns that are just completely disgusting and gross. They got goofy crap written on their chest. They're covered in blood and sweat and spit. They're nasty. I think they were Psycho Head and Christ, I don't even remember what the other one's name was. Is it Schizo Head, maybe? I don't know. It doesn't matter what their names were. They're just 2 disgusting Rob Zombie clowns. Eventually, somebody's got to face a character named Doomhead. We'll get to him in a minute. I got to tell you, I honestly have mixed emotions about this movie. I thought that the first 24 minutes of this movie were absolutely, positively disturbing, disgusting, typical Rob Zombie, over vulgar garbage. Terrible conversations between seemingly disgusting, terrible characters, completely immoral, just your typical wholesome Rob Zombie content. But after the first 24 minutes, I actually enjoyed this movie. It was very aggressive. It was very violent. I liked the whole aspect of having to survive. And as people are getting murdered off and people are getting in and out of different situations, their odds are changing. Malcolm McDowell's character is counting down the time that these people have left to survive. I in general, like this movie, I guess. So if it's a 90-minute movie and the first half hour sucked, I guess I liked about 66% of this movie. But I really hated that first 33%. And you have the normal Rob Zombie cast of characters. Malcolm McDowell, since Rob Zombie's Halloween, has been in everything this guy does. In this movie, his character, he was basically the wizard of what took place in the game of 31. For whatever reason, they had him wearing like a powdered Beethoven wig or whatever the hell that was about. I have no idea. The people who worked for him were girls walking around 100% naked. I don't know what that had no meaning in the story other than for Rob Zombie to put more naked chicks in the movie. You had Rob Zombie's version of Dave Grohl and Jeff Daniel Phillips. I actually like that guy. I think he's a pretty good actor, but I can't look at him without thinking of Dave Grohl. You had, in this movie, one character that was different was Freddie Boom Boom Washington was in this movie. It was very different for him. I can't remember what that guy's real name is either. I should be more prepared for this. Can't remember what his real name is, but needless to say, this is a very far cry from Welcome Back, Kotter. Another familiar face in the movie was one of the two disgusting Rob Zombie clowns in the movie, was the skinny, sweaty, blonde-haired dude with the 70s mustache. He was the guy who committed the rape in Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween 1, and he was the guy that Otis killed in The Devil's Rejects. That gross dude. He's in the movie. And of course, Sheri Moon Zombie. I don't know, man. I do not think that woman has any acting skills at all. I think she's a very pretty girl, and I think that Rob Zombie needs to stop putting her in his movies. I think he just needs to recast going forward for the main female role in his movies. She was okay in the first in House of a Thousand Corpses and in The Devil's Rejects. She had a minuscule role in Rob Zombie's Halloween, but then she was asked to carry the Lords of Salem, which she couldn't do. She's supposed to be the main character in this movie, which I guess she carried this one out okay, but I think that this could have absolutely been portrayed better if they had somebody else that was a more seasoned actress. The final Rob Zombie regular that's in this movie was Richard Brake. Sheri Moon Zombie is supposed to be the star of this movie. In my opinion, Richard Brake is the star of this movie. He steals this movie. The movie actually opens with him and basically it appears to be like an interrogation scene. He is having a very long conversation. It's very articulate. It's acted very well. It's a close-up on his face. He's having what appears to be an interrogation with a guy, but it is not. He's getting ready to kill this dude, and he's just talking to him about it before he does it.
Now you may think you see a grease-painted reformer sitting before you, but trust me, I'm not here to brighten your dismal day. I am here to end your miserable life.
At the end of the movie, and this character, by the way, is Doomhead. At the end of the movie, Doomhead is called in to come back on Halloween. That's another thing. 31 takes place annually on October 31st, hence the name 31. He's called back. He says he wasn't planning on working this year. They double his pay. He says, all right, I'll be there in a little while. So he comes in, and he's there for the last, I would say, 15 to 20 minutes of the movie. I didn't time it out, but it's something like that. It's the end of the movie. So he comes in, and he is asked to step in and eliminate the remaining survivors because, well, they're not survivors. They didn't survive yet. He eliminate the remaining characters or players in the game of 31. This dude is awesome. Richard Brake, I'm telling you, he absolutely steals this movie. I think that I can't imagine anybody else playing this role. I think Rob Zombie found himself a gem with this dude. You know Richard Brake. He was in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. He's the guy at the beginning of the movie in the passenger seat that winds up getting his head cut off, yelling the F word over and over. He was the third character in Rob Zombie's 3 from Hell. I don't know if I've seen him in a lot of other things, but he's been in, you might recognize him, I'll put it that way. He's amazing. I think between him and Jeff Daniel Phillips, Rob Zombie's got a couple of gems here. I really like these guys. If he's going to continue using the same actors in all of his movies, and that appears to be the pattern that he's got going on here, he has to put those two guys in the roles, like the lead roles in his movies. They're both amazing. Richard Brake is a badass. I think that he absolutely positively stole this movie. So Rob Zombie's 31. What did I think overall? I actually think that I have to say that I enjoyed this movie. I could have done without Sheri Moon Zombie. I could have done without the first third of this movie. But the second and third act in this movie were pretty darn good. Richard Brake, like I said, stole the show here. Without him, my opinion of this movie would likely be much, much different. But it begins with him and it ends with him, and you just have to get through all the stuff in the middle. I would say give this movie a shot. It was definitely more gripping and interesting than a lot of the stuff that Rob Zombie's done. If you have not seen 31, give 31 a shot. If you like Rob Zombie's movies, this is one of his better ones. Alright folks, that is going to do it for my review of Rob Zombie's 31. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video and you have been enjoying my content up to this point, please do me a huge personal favor. Click that subscribe button, and after you click that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, have a kick-ass day, and thank you for watching.